So this little port right here is completely given up. It's caused quite a bit of a headache, to be honest. That's because I'm using this camera, the Z6, as my sort of main recording setup at home to record these YouTube videos. And I had been using a nice little setup with OBS and HDMI capture. And it's, yeah, the camera's set up, it's pointed always at this desk here, ready to go at any point in time, just so I can record videos nice and easily. And using OBS to sort of stage manage the different parts of the video, that pipeline is now gone. So this week I'm just testing a few alternatives. You know, what should I do? Should I fix it? Should I get a new camera? Should I use one of the different cameras that I have around here? So some options got nothing. Some options cost quite a lot. It's close to $2,000. Let's work through it. This is the setup currently. You know, this is my desk where I'm recording stuff. I've got nice lighting. I've got a microphone here that I can record into. I've got a laptop which is running OBS, which I have different cameras and other things going into. And there's a camera here on a tripod pointed at this desk. And the way it was set up is I have a micro HDMI port on the Z6, which goes into a USB-C capture dongle. And the thing is, micro HDMI ports are known for being fragile. And there's a lot of posts out there about people breaking theirs on the Z6. And, you know, this camera, it's from 2019. It's like 7 years old now. I hadn't even really used the HDMI port that much, to be honest. But one of the solder joints must have just gone. So, you know, you could say, well, why don't you just use your Z6 III, right? You've got a Z6 III. That has a full-sized HDMI port on it. Well, the reason for that is what I wanted to do is have a setup in here that I don't have to mess about with. The settings are dialed in. I can then use this camera and experiment with the different video modes, the different video settings, the different lenses and everything outside of here. Use this for B-roll, other stuff, you know, maybe eventually recording slow-mo of animals maybe. And the camera in here would just be set up just for this room. Improve the workflow, make things easier to record. And the other benefit as well with having a HDMI feed coming out is I could put it into one of the, I've got an old monitor here, and I could see what I was recording. I can't see that now, unfortunately. In fact, I actually can't see a preview of what's on the laptop, so I'm having a lot of problems. So, you know, OBS also let me I could see the preview, I could see what was in frame, I could see whether this was in a you know, whether it was casting a shadow on my face, I could see whether I'm actually in focus. Sometimes when I've got the dog with me in here, the camera will take focus onto the dog, so I could know to sort of block the dog and then take focus back, but so it's going to be a lot of guesswork. Also, if I hit record in OBS, I can see that it's recording. There's a problem with this Z6 where it doesn't have a flippy down screen, so the indicator that I'm recording is behind the camera, and there's a 30-minute limit. There's a whole bunch of stuff that this setup just made it a lot easier. So we're going to have a look at a bunch of different options here, and we're going to test them now, one by one. Speaking of the dog, hello mate. Oh, he's not going to make this easier, but might as well say hi while he's here. So there's at least 5 options we're going to test. First, I can still use the USB-C port on the Z6 to use the Nikon Webcam Utility, which I used for the previous video. There are some downsides, so let's get into that in a minute. We're going to record in camera 1080p, in camera 4K, which is what we're using right now, 4K 24. We're going to try as well using the Windows Link utility on my Android phone to see what the quality of that would be like. And I also have what I used to record for a lot of my videos, my Pocket 3, with a black mist filter and possibly using the ND filter and using better lighting. Will it look better? I think the challenge is going to be, it's going to be difficult to get a look that I like anywhere near as much as the Nikon camera. I love the 51.8. Also, in the process of trying to test whether the HDMI port was broken, I've had to reset the settings on my Z6. So I'm hoping I've set it up correctly, but good lord. Yeah, it's caused a lot of problems, this. I mean, it's a first world problem, but it's still a problem. So first things first, this is the Nikon Webcam Utility. This costs nothing to fix the problem. I'm using an Oculus Link 5-meter USB-C cable, which is an expensive cable, but it's good. The main problem is that, first of all, the quality. So this is 1024 by 768. It's not going to be very sharp. The first benefit, apart from it costing nothing to fix, is that I'm just recording this in OBS now. So I could flip it if I had my tablet. I could flip to switch, you know, the split screen, and I don't have to do as much editing in post. The previous section, I'm going to have had to overlay the audio from here with the camera feed. So there's that. But, and when it's, you know, when I'm actually gone into picture-in-picture, the quality will actually be perfectly fine from this view. But it's when I'm full screen, which Yeah, but the other benefits now I can see on this here, I can see that, well, I've got my electrolyte drink is in frame. Maybe I don't want that to be in frame. Oh, there's a Pepsi can as well. I can actually see much easier what's in frame, what I don't want. So yeah, what do you think about the quality though? 1024 by 768, and then it'll be like exported at 4K. On a mobile phone screen, it might look all right. I'm going to blow this up after the fact though. And once I've watched this and I've edited it all and I put it together, I'll put a pinned comment as to what I think about the audio quality. I did look back at the most recent podcast episode, and it looks okay on this monitor preview here, and it looks okay when editing in a smaller window, but the second you blow it up, it's very soft. So let's switch over now to in-camera 1080p. This is 1080p, so why am I suggesting looking at 1080p as a solution? Well, it's mostly for the file sizes. I'm going to have to record, because I want to use this microphone setup. It's much easier than having to use the wireless mics, and I can have a noise gate and stuff on this in OBS, and it's easier to capture audio from different devices and stuff, and then the video can come from the camera. And 1080p gives me a much lower file size, and there are quite a few YouTubers who actually record in 1080p then export at 4K to get the benefits of the VP9 codec that you get by uploading in 4K. It's better overall, like bitrate. Then if you're uploading 1080p, I don't know if there's possibly a situation where that's not the case anymore. So we're going to go to 4K in a minute, but it will improve, my life not transferring massive 4K files off the things. I'm going to have to, if I do this rather than you recording it directly to OBS, I'm now going to have to pull the card out, and I'm going to have multiple different video files and make sure I'm, recording. And again, we've got the downsides that I can't actually see what I'm recording, can't see what's in frame. I've got to be a bit more mindful when I'm setting up the desk and looking at the monitor preview, or maybe recording a test clip, that kind of stuff. I also have to sync the audio at the start, so it's going to be interesting to see whether there's any problems with recording at whatever frame rate I'm recording in OBS and recording the frame rate at 24 frames on the camera. And it'd be interesting to see if there's a drift between the two, like maybe there's some problem with OBS or whatever. It basically adds in complexity. Yeah. So again, this is a free option. It's just my time. The next option we're going to move now is 4K. So this is another free option. The only cost is time really, and moving files about and file storage. So this is 4K. So the thing is, you might not even be able to notice at whatever resolution you're viewing this in the difference in the quality. And you might be with some of the other YouTubers who've suggested 1080p is the way to go. So what do you think? Have you actually been able to tell the difference? What I'll do now is I'm going to quickly play back to back a couple of clips between sort of 4K and 1080p, and I'll just overlay them now while I'm talking. And you tell me, if I actually switch between the two of them, can you even tell which one's which? Yeah, I'm not sure. And the thing is, 4K might be overkill, because when I'm recording through HDMI output into OBS, it's only at 1080p anyway. So I'm only encoding a 1080p VOD when I'm doing that. 4K is probably overkill. If the quality is significantly better, then there's a chance it's worth doing, but probably not. So next we're going to try something else. So we're going to go on to option number 4, which is another free option, but it's another option that allows me to use my OBS and less editing, but the cost is in quality. Let's just say the cost is in quality. So that's using an Android phone with Windows Phone Link. So I'm going to need to set this back up because I've not set it up on this phone. It's on my main PC, and we're going to use the feature that allows you to use it as a webcam, and we'll see whether we actually have, because the latency might be terrible, so bear with me. Right, so we're going to skip the Windows link to Windows one. I couldn't even get it set up, so I think we will not risk that. So instead, what we have here is the Osmo Pocket 3, but with a few different tweaks. So it has on it both a black mist filter to maybe make the lights feel a bit more ephemeral or whatever. It's not really working. And it has an ND filter as well, because the lights are quite bright in here, so it's got the ND filter turned all the way up. I might turn it down slightly. It's looking a little bit washed out. Let's just quickly do that. I think it'll take a bit more tweaking to do. So this is the last option really before talking about anything around repairing it. You can use the Osmo Pocket 3 as a USB webcam, so it means I can pipe it directly into OBS. I can add it in as a different corner. It opens up that potential pipeline, and with the better lights in here, it might look higher quality than it did the last time I tried to record this, but I have a feeling, I'm looking in the background here on the monitor, And the depth of field there isn't any. Yeah. So what I'm doing is to sort of get a more flattering field of view, I'm recording at 2x zoom rather than 1x, partially because, you know, this is the area which I've set up to be recording in. So, you know, I can actually see just in this corner here, this is the light. You can see that poking into the frame. Just off here, you'll be able to see the windowsills, which are full of boxes and stuff. It's a bit of a mess in here. You know, so it has the option, you know, the benefits of the fact that I can just plug it straight in and I can use it, and I don't have to change the way I'm editing it. It's a bit of a shame because the quality of the image, I don't think is the same. Again, you know, let's put these side by side. I'll use the 1080p from the thing, and I'll just flash up, you know, some video from each now, one at a time. And, you know, the light strip in the back in the DJI doesn't look great. The back is, you can actually see my sort of work. Like, I sometimes wear these like checkered shirts to work and stuff. The little lights in the background, you can see the detail. Now, some people might like that. I'm interested to hear your opinion. I know the Nikon colors are so much better than the DJI one. Okay, so I'm just mid-edit here, and I've noticed that the footage coming out of the Pocket 3 is very washed out. That might just be because I'm used to seeing the Nikon colors. And I have a nice color profile which I've set up for this room. But I'm recording here, and I've just checked. This is without the ND filter. I wonder if the ND filter would make it better or worse. Still looks a little washed out in the monitor. I'm not sure I like the look of the Pocket 3 in this current configuration. It is recording. It's not recording in D-Log-M. It's recording in normal. So it's not recording in a flat profile as far as I can tell. So that would be one sacrifice going to this using it in webcam version. Is that this would be the look as opposed to the Nikon footage. So we're going to do the rest of this with a Pocket 3 just to make it my editing life easier, because I'm going to have a lot of stuff to put together now. What other options do we have, right? So we looked at all the free options, and that the cost is either quality or time, essentially. If you're not going to use HDMI in, the cost is either your time in additional editing or syncing of files, or cost of quality in that you can't use the nice full frame glass and use the Nikon color science and the goodness of the nice full frame sensor. So then it gets into sort of repair. So I did have a look around, because this is a thing that happens, and so people do get it repaired. The camera's clearly out of warranty. It's over 7 years old. To get it repaired at a Nikon service center, we're looking in the region of £250 to £350, which is quite a lot for camera that, you know, I'm not making any money on this YouTube channel at this point in time, or well, possibly never. So £250 to £300 on just to be able to use HDMI output for 1080p feed. If I go down the route of a Nikon service center, it could be £150 to £200, but it would probably be done at a mobile phone repair shop type place, which might not necessarily be used to working on Nikon cameras, and they might take the micro soldering job on, and who knows, right? It would be a bit of a risk. The option B, though, this is where the gear acquisition syndrome kicks in. Option B is to buy a Nikon ZR. Wild. Now, I mean, I'd love a Nikon ZR. I really would love a Nikon ZR. That would be so good. But let's have a look. It's new, it's £2,000. Yep. And secondhand, it's still like 1,500. It's expensive. I've seen a couple of ZRs on Amazon for about £1,400, and that seems like a scam. Like, how is that possible? It's more expensive secondhand. But, you know, I'm earning no money from this YouTube channel, so it would just be £2,000 down the drain, where I've just got myself the Z6 III, which, you know, I want a dedicated stills camera. I bought this so that I could be getting into, you know, I'd be buying the ZR instead of buying a wildlife lens. I'd rather put the money into that. Long story short, unless this footage on the Pocket 3 looks really good, or if I get plenty of comments in the comment section, which if people say, okay, don't worry about it, the Pocket 3 looks fine, then I might stick with that in this room, and then I could just have the original Z6 as a second body for when I go out and I've got some occasionally take pictures of work, or if I want to try a couple of different lenses when I'm out shooting landscape and I don't want to have to change them over. I could just move it back to being a, you know, a spare body, and I could stick with the Pocket 3. But if that's not the case, and when I've put the side-by-sides up, I think 1080p footage and then syncing them, as long as they don't drift out of sync, it's going to suck not having a preview of what I look like. It's going to suck not being able to know that I'm recording. There have been times in the past where I've hit record, talked for 5 minutes, and I've heard the camera switch off because I actually missed the button and I didn't check it because I'm in a rush. And as much as I'd like to make, you know, a dedicated Cinecam to be able to record videos, I think unless getting a ZR is really not It's a pipe dream. It's the gear acquisition syndrome. As much as it's one of those things of like, if I had the money to do everything, you just get it when you need. But it's a bit of a complete waste of resources. What this might end up happening though is that the video that I capture now might end up being better quality. I might have to go back to using wireless microphones and getting audio into the Nikon camera. I want to be able to capture the tablet screen and stuff like that though, which I'll still use OBS to capture it. I've got a bunch of cables set up here. What would you do in this situation? You know, if you had to record video in this scenario, would you stick with the Pocket 3? Would you use your Z6, just recording video and edit it all together later? Would you go back to basics, get rid of some of this stuff like this microphone here? Or would you get the credit card out, buy the ZR and forget about it? Or maybe just get it repaired. I mean, 350 quid potentially. If it's cost a full 350, it's still quite a chunk of a wildlife lens. And there's nothing to say it wouldn't happen again in the future, because it's a common fault with these HDMI ports, and it's one of the reasons I don't want to sort of put the Z6 III in this position. I have to constantly keep unplugging and plugging the HDMI cable and end up, with a damaged port on this as well. I'd rather have something, dedicated set up. And in fact, if I do get it fixed, I might get into a position where I buy like an adapter, so that it's, you plug in once into the port and then you plug the extension cable into the adapter to relieve, some of the friction on doing that. Food for thought. Let me know in the comments what you would do. Subscribe if you found this interesting, and thank you very much for watching. See you next time.